Hey YouTube, what is going on? This is iTalk.
I'm Blade. Drain Gang.
Here, and in today's video, we have a brand new video. We are bringing back the Unpopular Opinion series. Now, if you're unaware what this series is, basically what I do is I go on Twitter, I go on YouTube, I ask you guys, what are some of your most unpopular opinions regarding Fortnite? And then I make a video talking about them and then giving my full thoughts and opinions on it. So, some of these opinions might be popular, but some of them might be unpopular. It's really hard to kind of discern what is actually popular, what isn't super popular opinions. I don't know, but I pick out opinions that I think that are rather unpopular in most cases. So, let us begin. From Paul0317 on Twitter, he says, this season has been one of the best ones. Yeah, I like to think that this is one of the better seasons we've had so far. I mean, last season, the issue most people had with it is that it was just dry on content. There wasn't enough going on. I mean, to be fair, we did get a brand new map with a brand new UI, with brand new everything, and we burned out of the game after like a month of no content. So I kind of understand that. But with this season, we've got like nothing but content this season. I can't really complain about it. It's a really good season so far, so I don't think this one is that unpopular at all. I think the season's fine. I think it's just a mixture of different things with people on why they're not enjoying the game. I genuinely think it's just because we've been playing the same game for almost 3 years now, and I feel like people are getting burned out of the game. That's normal for people, right? Like, people don't want to play the same game for so long. I totally understand people just having natural burnout to the game, but I think this season is still rather good. I love the spy theme with it. The battle pass is one of the best as well, and the map isn't too bad either. The henchmen are a little bit on the debate. They're really strong, but at the same time, I think they're still fine. I think the game in general is pretty good. Like, I really don't have anything negative to say about the season, besides maybe the mythic weapons are kind of much. Not really a fan of that. Lightsabers being back, that they're only back for actually 2 days. They're gone tomorrow, so I guess that's not really a complaint either. It's just, you're never going to have a season where everyone's going to enjoy this season. It's impossible to please everyone. That's why I was so surprised that the Travis Scott concert went as well as it did. A majority of people loved it. So, like, if Fortnite could figure out how to make what the Travis Scott concert was for the Fortnite players in terms of the map and the meta and everything like that, I think they would have a really good game on their hands. But yeah, I think the season is still one of the better ones without a doubt. From Remy on Twitter, he says, the Fortnite community are too harsh towards devs. Sometimes when the content of the game is dry, the community gets very mad at Fortnite, even though Fortnite devs work on such amazing content for us. Fortnite IMO doesn't need updates every 2 weeks to be fun. No game does. Now, I must iterate the first point. Absolutely, you should never attack the devs. Like, no game should ever have devs that are worried about pleasing everyone and just being scared of like threats from the community. The community is very harsh. I will admit that. I've seen a lot of people say a lot of mean things to the devs. It's not right. I don't condone that behavior whatsoever. The thing you say at the end, though, I kind of have to disagree with, because the issue with Fortnite is that Fortnite themselves have made it so people were used to 1 week updates. Every week we would get an update for the game, whether it's a new location, whether it's a new gun. We're kind of used to having so much happen with the game. It seems like the community is just impatient for updates. Like, we want more. I don't necessarily blame them too much, because Fortnite kind of got us used to that. With everything from Chapter 1, I think we got a new update almost every single week with new weapons and new locations, like I said. So it's not too far-fetched as to why I believe the community kind of asks this much. Now, as I've said, I enjoy this season. We've been getting content every week. I think every week. And even if it's every 2 weeks, we're still getting really good content. I'm really enjoying what they've been giving us. But sometimes people are just never satisfied. People just always want more from Fortnite, and they're never going to get it. And that's why I said in my podcast about the concert we just got recently with the Diplo concert, the community seems to expect a lot from the game when we can't really have that thought with Fortnite. Again, they've done so much. The reason why we got lack of content last season was just because they were working on the map. They were working on the new UI and everything. So I understand why we didn't get a whole lot of content that season. But this season, I have no complaints with the content. I think it's been really fun with all the content we've been getting. But Fortnite, I feel like, is really only that much fun when updates constantly get through with the game. And it's unfortunate for me to say that, because I don't want Fortnite to overwork themselves, but that's kind of the thing that I think Fortnite is. It's a game where it thrives off of content almost every single week, and that is just my opinion. From Yuzu on Twitter, Season X was the best season of Fortnite. Now, Obviously, I'm going to heavily disagree with this, but I will say this, if this is your opinion, that is 1000% okay. Everyone has a mind for their own. Everyone has their own opinion on everything. You are free to have your own opinion, and you should not be attacked for your own opinion here. So, Season X was the best season of Fortnite. I'm going to heavily disagree with this. This was not my favorite season. This was one of the worst seasons in my opinion. I feel like the way they handled everything was just wrong. The comp scene definitely did not like this season, but without even taking the comp scene aside, the competitive side of Fortnite and myself also kind of share the same opinions sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them. I genuinely hated this season. I thought the Battle Pass was okay. I was not a fan of the Brutes. The Brutes ruined the game for me. To me, it did. And I will never want to go back to that season. I know why they brought the Brutes out. It was to help out newer players, but man, this was the wrong way to go about it. To ruin everyone else's fun by using a broken vehicle, I just thought was a terrible addition to the game. I will never like this season. Even like the rift zones were terrible too. No. The other reason why I have such strong feelings against Season X is because the first picture they showed of us was Dusty Depot. We thought we were going back, which we kind of did, but we didn't get anything out of it. It was just a not fun season. They got expectations up really high for everyone, and then when everything happened, that's why everyone didn't like it. To me, I feel like because of that first teaser, everyone's expectations were really high up, and then it all came crumbling down when we got the Mech and we got all that. I don't even want to think about that season. That's how much I really just did not like it. From Chipster on Twitter, he says, unpopular opinion, Team Rumble should be removed from the game and replaced with 50v50. Team Rumble was just turned into a sweat fest and doesn't require any strategy. Whatever team has more sweats win. In 50v50, the team that works together generally does best. This is actually a really interesting thought. I don't think they need to remove Team Rumble, but I would love to see 50v50 back. I often think about that 50v50 trailer. We kind of played like that a little bit in 50v50 where we made our own forts. I thought it was good fun. I think a 50v50 mode coming back to the game would be a fun time. I don't think it needs to be replaced by Team Rumble. While I do agree that Team Rumble is definitely not strategy by any stretch, I could see 50v50 being that way. You actually have to work together and try to survive with each other. I think it's a great idea if we did bring back 50v50, but I think that with no other game mode besides Party Royale, you're going to find sweats. No matter what mode it is, you're just going to find people like that. So you're going to get that in 50v50 if they bring that back, but I would love to see it come back. I think it would be genuinely a fun time, and I actually have to agree with this one. I think it would be fun, but I don't see the point in vaulting Team Rumble, especially because it's used for challenges and a lot of people like that. They don't even really use it. I don't think too many people use Team Rumble as their main way to play Fortnite. I don't think they do. I could be wrong about that, but I see it more as just like, hey, I got to get my challenges done. I'm going to go chill in Team Rumble because it's a lot more relaxed than normal solos, duos, and squads, in my opinion. So I don't think they should remove it, but 50v50 coming back would be awesome. Erdo on Twitter, combat shotgun should come back. I disagree with this a lot. The combat shotgun to me was super fun to use. I mean, the sound was great. The feedback you got from it was fantastic. The issue I have with that gun is that it fit all the roles. It was basically an AR, an SMG, and a much, much better shotgun, and even kind of a sniper in some cases because the range on it was ridiculous. Now, in certain custom games, I could see it being a fun time, or with some creative games, I think it would be fun to use the combat shotgun. But in the normal meta, I never really liked that meta because the way I thought of it was like, if you have the combat shotgun, you pretty much win the game. You don't really need anything else. I just thought it was too good. Now, do I think the main community wants it back? I've seen a few people ask for it back, but I don't think it would be the best idea. Even if they nerfed it, it was easily the best shotgun in its class, and I just do not see them bringing it back. It made every other weapon useless. I just not a fan of it. Like I said, it sounded great, felt great to use. It was way too strong. If I was good with a weapon, that usually means I think it's too strong, if I can do good with it. From Evan Tube, he said that he likes the mechs. That's totally fine. Again, if you like the mechs, that is totally your opinion, but I will never ever say that I like the mechs at all. I thought the mechs were a terrible addition to the game. They're fun and creative. I must reiterate that. you can actually have fun with these in creative. If you make your own like mech game mode, that would be really cool. I just think for the normal modes, I thought it was terrible. And the fact that this was even in competitive is ridiculous to me. I have no positive feelings towards that thing, honestly. They did make it worse before, like everyone complained about it. They did nerf it, but I just still am not a fan of it. From Swigs on Twitter, Bush Ranger is the best skin that has ever been created and deserves his own POI and statue. Well, considering he was in the trailer for this season, I think they might actually utilize him for some storyline, which I think would be pretty cool. You come from a community choice vote, you end up winning it, and then you become like a fan favorite to a lot of people. I think that's actually a funny idea. I think having him in the story would actually be really cool. A statue I could see. Not a POI, but a statue. Maybe they could call it like Bush Ranger's Forest or something like that if they ever want to bring out a forest again. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they would actually do that because they already only have that for like Tomato Town, but I mean, that doesn't even exist anymore. You know what I mean? I think a POI would be interesting, but like, do I see it happening? Probably not. From Retro Rewind on Twitter, unpopular opinion, Fortnite competitive should not exist. Battle Royale was designed to be a fun game where you build forts and don't crank 90s. Season X proved to the community that they did not want a competitive game mode. It should either be made into a game mode like Save the World. I don't necessarily agree with Fortnite competitive not existing, but what I do think is Fortnite competitive needs their own rule set and their own loot pool, because Fortnite competitive just feels like normal pubs. And I don't like that. Fortnite competitive, I think, has a place for Fortnite. The main mode, like the main battle royale, solos, duos, and squads, should be vastly different to the competitive mode. Competitive is already kind of RNG anyway, with a lot of different factors in the game. That's why a lot of people don't take Fortnite competitive seriously, because it doesn't feel competitive. It's a battle royale game. Whoever gets the best gun first, whoever gets the shotgun first, usually wins. I said this a long time ago, but I think if everyone started off with the gray pistol, I think it'd make it a little bit more fair. But even then, who finds the shotgun first gets the win most likely. So it's a little tough for me to really say that they should vault Fortnite competitive. I definitely don't think they should do that. There's clearly an audience for it, and I don't want that audience to go away. I think it can thrive in Fortnite, but the fact that like it's so similar to pubs is ridiculous. It should never be like that. No game that has a competitive mode should ever feel like the normal mode. It should have a lot more rules to it and just overall a better feeling for a competitive scene. From Mediocre Things on Twitter, Fishstick is overrated. Like, literally any reskin of him will be loved no matter how lazy it is. That is not necessarily true. Fishstick being overrated, I mean, it's a popular skin. I mean, yeah, I think I've said this before. Yeah, I think Fishstick is pretty overrated, but does that necessarily make it a bad skin? No, not really. And if Fishstick got any reskins, I mean, we kind of talked about this a long time ago too. A lot of the skins that tend to get reskins are actually like their character in a different outfit, which I don't necessarily think needs to be like an edit style for Fishstick or anything. I don't necessarily agree with this. Regardless if we think Fishstick is overrated, which like I said, I think it might be a little bit overrated. I don't think every reskin of a Fishstick would be loved no matter what. I don't really see many people loving the frozen Fishstick. I don't see many. I mean, how many other Fishstick reskins are there? Just them two, I think, at the moment. I don't necessarily agree with this, really. Like, the whole reskin will be loved no matter what. Not everyone likes Fishstick, though. I think he's okay. I think he's unique. He was unique for the time, for sure. From John Wick on Twitter, unpopular opinion, the Risky Reels Punked event was better than the Travis Scott event. I feel like this is an absolute bait. There's no way this can be real. Now, I'm going to take it as if it is. If this is real, maybe you just don't like Travis Scott's music. Maybe you got a headache from looking at the event. Probably one of those things. In terms of quality control, the Travis Scott event factually was better. In terms of your preference, that's your preference. Without a doubt, I think Travis Scott was better no matter what. The Risky Reels Punked event might actually have been worse than the Star Wars event. I thought it was that bad, considering I didn't even really talk about it for a video because it felt like an advertisement. The whole thing felt like an advertisement. So, yeah, I heavy disagree here on this. I honestly feel like it's actually bait, but I don't know. Then last one for today is from Denny on Twitter. He said, ever since the beginning of Chapter 2, they started making really high detailed textures for some skins that just look way too realistic for Fortnite's cartoony theme. IMO, in my opinion. Now, I will say this, Chapter 2, I said this in the beginning of it, it's not Fortnite anymore. Fortnite used to be cartoony. Fortnite used to be silly and ridiculous. Now it's a lot more serious now. I've noticed this with like the UI changes and with like the changes to the map and everything. It feels like you're living in your own world with this game. It does not feel like a cartoony island with cartoony things going on. It just doesn't feel that way. So I understand why they're making the skins a lot more serious and a lot more with better textures, I guess you could say. Like, they actually look more human and not as cartoony. I understand that. I kind of miss the cartoony feel of the game. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel that way to me at all anymore. It's just something that I think we've gotten used to it, where it's just like, it's just not that cartoony anymore. I remember seeing like Tomato Head, I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. But now I see him and he looks more realistic now. I mean, there's some outfits that will never look realistic to me, Demogorgon for example, but I firmly think that Fortnite's cartoony theme was a lot better back then. It's definitely played more serious now, and I feel like the high detail textures for the skins nowadays is just a factor of the new engine and the fact that the game just feels more real now. And I think that's what they kind of want to go for. Whether or not is that better, I don't necessarily know. I loved the cartoony feel of the game before. Now it just feels a little bit too serious for people that like the cartoony feel. It doesn't feel cartoony. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know with a like, but only if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and turn on the bell just to get all of my latest uploads. And comment down below, what are your opinions on what I talked about today? I would love to know. Also, if you would like to leave an unpopular opinion, leave it down in the comments. Follow me on Twitter at ITalkFortnite. Follow me on Instagram, ICanTalkFortnite. And if you'd like to use me for support a creator, my code is ITalkFortnite. Thank you all so much that use that code. Seriously, it helps me out a ton. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all later. See ya.